Megalithic stone structures are one of the fascinating wonders that humans have ever built. Some of them are still standing while some others have been lost in time. One of the most intriguing facts about these structures is that all the stones used in their construction weigh hundreds or even thousands of tons. It is often questioned how it was possible for ancient civilizations to move these giant stones to construct these structures without any form of machinery. How is it possible to discover an ancient stone monolith setting arranged by a civilization we know nothing about and who knew nothing about tools? Who were these people that could arrange these huge chunks of stone? How did they do such a job without the assistance of a crane or winch and pulley system? Göbekli Tepe, Turkey. Located in southeast Turkey is an ancient temple of worship that apparently predates the more famous Stonehenge by at least 6,000 years. Once thought of as an ancient cemetery, Klaus Schmidt is responsible for the discovery of a group of monolith stones that were carved, crafted, and arranged by a prehistoric people that had no idea what metal tools were. The area is huge, built in a circular fashion, and has two very large, T-shaped groupings in the center. One of the multiple rings of stones in this grouping is 65 feet across the center. Using high technology called ground-penetrating radar, Schmidt has found that there are at least 16 of these gigantic rings, stretching across the 22-acre site. In the 1960s, when investigated by a team from the prominent University of Chicago, this area was mistaken as a medieval cemetery, and no further thought was given to it. In 1994, while researching information for another location, Schmidt read an article about the area and decided to go check it out himself. The rest, as they say, is history. The whole design of Göbekli Tepe brought Schmidt to the conclusion that it was man-made, with a sloping top that is 50 feet above the landscape, and there was evidence found of some use of tools. All evidence found and researched has shown that this civilization was on the lip of serious advancement. One major sign of advancement is the carvings and symbols found on some of these stones. At this time, they were still thousands of years away from when writing began. This prehistoric symbolism shows the need to be able to communicate to others in that time. There are no details and no way of knowing the writing's meanings. However, Schmidt has not given up. The only clue that they can decipher fits with other civilizations and beliefs of the time. The carvings of the vultures flying to heaven signify the vultures carrying the dead souls to the afterlife. Those same symbols were found at a similar site 50 miles away. Schmidt also has an explanation of the huge monoliths and the way they were created. By seeing the tools found there and in areas surrounding the Göbekli Tepe, Schmidt has determined that the limestone was hammered and gouged by ancient tools to create these standing pieces. This alone shows the knowledge that an ancient civilization possessed to carry out the task. This leads to asking an important question. Was Göbekli Tepe the world's first astronomical observatory? Was the site used to read the stars, watch for signs from heaven? It seems obvious that geometry played a highly important role within the creation of these circles. How else could they have made such perfect circles, stone towers, seating, and in such a large amount? Who was it that led them to this information? Who possessed the knowledge of geometry and was able to figure out the measurements, the shapes to be used and distances in equal amounts? The megalithic temples of Malta. There are 7 temples located in Malta that show there was some form of advanced technology that aided in the building of these temples. The temples are protected by UNESCO as World History. These temples include Gigantija, Hagar Kim, Mnajtra, Skorba, Tarxian, and Ta Magrat. These ancient stone buildings were made between the 4th and 3rd millennium BC, way before any form of technology that is known to exist. Each of these stone structures differ in size, design, and way it was built. They also show a definite advancement of technological achievements. What is curious is how they could construct such works that have withstood the tests of time in such a phenomenal manner. There is one of the temples that has suffered much more damage than the others. Tarxian is falling victim to erosion and age much faster. However, there is a theory that most of us would not consider. Based on the shape of the megaliths, it seems possible and even likely, that an advanced civilization designed and built these megaliths to be a power station. In 2019, a geophysics survey in Scotland revealed a star-shaped magnetic anomaly in the center of another megalithic circle. There was also evidence of several lightning strikes upon this anomaly. Now, when they see the design of two of the megaliths of Malta, they can say with almost complete surety that they are made to appear like what we call magnetrons. A magnetron is basically a tube that carries or generates electrons and amplifies them, with the flow of an external magnetic field. Mysteries are abounded here. The electron theory makes sense based on the design. The number of megaliths would contribute to a great deal of power created by an ancient civilization. Who would have been capable of doing such an endeavor? The knowledge of harvesting electricity from lightning is so far advanced for those times that it seems there must have been someone or something of a higher power or greater knowledge assisting some of these ancient civilizations. Pumapunku, Bolivia. In the midst of the jungle in Bolivia lays an ancient historic religious site. The site has many huge stone structures with such precise cuttings and shapes that it seems evident that there was some advanced technology in play when these were constructed. Although over time, many of these structures have fallen to the elements, there are enough pieces, if put together, show that it is verified windows, doorways and symbols cut into these stone structures. Within these structures is an unparalleled level of advancement in technology. The age is also debated, with many believing that Pumapunku to be around 15,000 years old. The carvings in the granite are said to have been impossible for those times. The cuts appear to have come from lasers, not tools. We know there was no laser technology then. Or perhaps there was. Were there other worldly visitors that helped with the construction and design of these megaliths? How else can it be explained? For example, 4 of these huge stone structures located at Pumapunku appear to be detailed shapes in the form of a capital H. The amount of time it would have taken to do just one portion of each is an astronomical thought. With some of these structures over 20 feet tall, weighing thousands of pounds, the question must be asked, how were these structures built and by who? The civilization of Pumapunku had crude hammers and chisel-type tools. These would not have been able to make the perfect right angles that are on these megaliths. No matter who claims they have the answer, the fact is still a fact that Pumapunku remains a mystery. Theories abound as to how each of the stones were brought to the site, as they weigh several tons each. The precise cutting into the stones is said to have been impossible. Skeptics say that Pumapunku may not be what we think it is. However, there is no evidence of that, and it has not been proven. The word megalith comes from the ancient Greek words megas, meaning great, and lithos, meaning stone. The term was originally used to describe large stones with unknown origins, but now can refer to any prehistoric stone monument. There are many different types of megaliths which all serve different purposes in the lives of their builders. Megaliths have been a fascination of the ancient world. They were a mystery for many years, and to this day, we still do not know what they were used for or how they were created. Stay tuned for more next time. If you like this video, hit the thumbs up icon. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon to get notifications for new videos.